Doctors. Beginning with their team captain, outside hitter number 2, Lawrence Senyoron. Outside hitter number 1, Shurin Caritativo. Middle blocker number 3, Chorley Magpayo. Opposite spiker number 8, Jeremy Pedrosa. Setter number 13, Michael Imperial. Middle blocker number 19, JD Diwa. And their starting libero is number 5, Rico Marmeto. The head coach of the Spin Doctors is Mr. Sinfronio Sammy Akailar. Presenting the starters for the Philippine Air Force Airmen. Beginning with their outside hitter, number 5, Paul Salvador. Setter, number 6, Airman Ronchet Villegas. Middle blocker, number 8, Luis Lumanlan. Middle blocker, number 9, Herald Domingo. Outside hitter, number 12, Bry Haleco. Opposite spiker, number 17, Ahmad Abdul. And their starting libero is number 10, Mabel Banak. Sitting in as head coach for the Airmen is Mr. Nino Jeruz.
And it's time to get this game started. Our first offering for today, the Savouge Spin Doctors with Pedrosa, Magpayo, Senyoron, Caritativo, Diwa, Imperial, and Marmeto as their opening unit, going up against the Philippine Air Force Airmen with Abdul Lumanlan, Jaleco, Salvador, Domingo, Villegas, and Banak. Coach Sammy Akailar on one side for Savouge. Coach Jeruz will be standing in as the head coach now for the Philippine Air Force Airmen. I mean, how do you mentally bounce back from losing a tough 3-setter like the Philippine Air Force did in their last game?
Well, it's really very tough for any athlete, especially if you know that you're playing catch up, you're really in the bottom of the team standings. But these are, apart from just being athletes, you also must not forget that these are also soldiers. No? So I think more than anything, what they have is really mental toughness. And I am sure that after that 3-set loss against Mavericks, they all went back to the drawing board and tried to figure out the best way that they can assure of a win today.
Senyoron hits that one long, already asking for a challenge, kaso hindi po siya pagbibigyan ni Coach Sammy Akailar. Masyado maaga.
Correct.
And that one will sail out mula sa depensa ng Philippine Air Force as Magpayo will deliver the first point for the Spin Doctors. Yung Savouge, they started this open conference with a lot of hope. They felt that they could be, a challenger for at least a semi-final spot. But things have not panned out, at least in their last 3 games. Let's see if they can arrest this kid. But they give up a point here from Salvador.
Take a look at that. Down the line hit. Only one blocker challenging Salvador in that attack.
Masyadong malaki yung opening for Salvador as Imperial will set it up. Good dig coming from Villegas, the setter. Pero ito hindi niya na mapupulot as Charlie Magpayo converts to tie the contest anew. So the middles activated early for the Savouge Spin Doctors. Salvador will score again. That's 2 points early for him.
Good angle chosen by Salvador. Targeting that end line.
He scored 2 points in the entire game in their last loss. So this is certainly a good start for him. That was a loaded serve, but ably picked up. That one sent straight to the net by Pedrosa.
And I think this is one of the things that Air Force would need to maximize on here in this game, putting pressure from the service line. Savouge is one of the best receiving teams that we have here in the league, so you really have to challenge that first ball.
Another strong serve. As Caritativo will be picked up. That's a tough first touch, but Salvador finds something to do about it. Oh, that is a net violation, a clear one against Villegas.
The Air Force, point for Savouge.
Sa Buelo, sumabit na pataas.
Unfortunate error on the side of Air Force.
Pedrosa will serve. Off-speed attack will not score yet from the back row this time. Just pushed over by Senyoron.
That was a good save from Air Force.
It is kept alive. Caritativo. With backline defense, kaso dun sila nabutasan sa gitna.
A little confusion on who would be getting that ball. Two players already had an eye on it. Salvador and Banak. But just quite unsure who among the two will be getting it.
Usually you would prefer for the libero to pick it
that's
up,
right. Oo.
Another strong hit, but slowed down a bit by the tape. Another middle attack scoring here as Diwa gets one across.
So it has been the middles for Savouge scoring the points in the attack. Diwa in their last game scored 7 points.
But Salvador has been pouring in the points here in the opener.
That was a good cross-court hit from Salvador. Let's take a look at that once again. Actually, it was a good play overall because they were able to make two of the blockers of Savouge commit to the middle.
You saw how Imperial tried to adjust his block, but it was already off angle. As we're tied again at 5 apiece. Good defense. And unfortunately for them, they won't keep this rally going. 4 touches against the Airmen. And it's back to a 1-point lead for the Spin Doctors. Sherwin Caritativo, 20 points in their last game. A 5-set heartbreak. Ooh, that might be an ace. No, it
that
won't
made
be.
it good effort on the side of Air Force.
It got there somehow, but Senyoron says, okay, calm down. We will score the point anyway.
But that was good, a good effort, a good save on the side of Air Force. They were literally flying to get that ball saved.
But Senyoron making sure that they will get that point no matter what, as they extend their lead to 2 points.
Oh, not the best of receptions there.
Limited options on the attack as a result. Coming from the back row, that's a strong hit. That might be too far to get to, and that will push us to our first technical timeout of our opening set. The Savouge Spin Doctors building an 8-5 lead against the Philippine Air Force.
End of the first technical timeout of set number 1.
Here we're power meets passion. Carlo, Ivy, no, for today's Philippine Air Force Airmen, we will not be seeing Coach Jesse due to his coaching stint sa UAAP. But Coach Nino right here will step up and lead the team. Sabi nga ni Coach Nino, as a former player from the same team, at these situations, nandun raw talaga yung feeling na gustong makabawi. Kaya binalikan niya nga yung mga pinag-usapan nila before this conference. So aside daw sa magandang performance ng team, ang goal daw talaga nila for this conference ay makitang iisa ang laro ng Philippine Air Force. Lalo na't most of these players, mga bagong players came from collegiate level. So hopefully, we will see it in today's match. Back to set one.
Thank you for that report, Denise. And itong si Coach Nino Jerus, you say he's a former player, but that's just maybe 2 conferences ago. Di ba naglalaro pa siya?
Parang kailan lang yun eh. Oh, exactly. Not too long ago.
A few months ago, but that's...
You would actually think pwede pa nga rin siya maglaro ngayon eh.
For sure. Might be younger than some of the players that they have actually in uniform. But that's the transition, eh, no? Nitong Air Force. They want someone from the inside always as their leader, as one of their coaches.
And I think it's also important to note, no, that, I mean, we've mentioned at the top of the coverage that the Air Force has been one of the stronger contenders historically here in the tournament. But, you know, each team has its own transitions. And I think ito yung transition period din para sa Air Force. So you're trying to put in newer players, younger players, but at the same time, yung core mo or the veterans are still there.
Yep. I remember the stint, the reign of Ran Abdilia, who just wreaked havoc on the defense of all opposing teams. Of course, Brian Bagunas had his stint with the Air Force as well.
Serving for the Spin Doctors is Michael Imperial.
But now it's time to look for the new players that they will be grooming in the hopes of rebuilding their dynasty and becoming, you know, the champion team once again here in Spiker's Turf. Good presence on the block coming from the Savouge Spin Doctors as they extend their lead to 4 now.
Good defense at the net from Savouge.
Now Senyoron with the denial. Well, the first balls nitong Philippine Air Force are a bit problematic, Ivy.
And that is one of the struggles that they have. That's why, you know, they're not able to come up with a lot of options when it comes to attack.
When they catch it clean on the first touch, nakakatake naman sila. Specifically itong si Lumanlan. Let's listen into this timeout.
Madali. Tapos isa-isa lang. Lalo na lamang sila. Pre, dalawa spiker. Blocking nyo. Ha? Turo nyo kung sino ba blocking nyo. Tuloy lang. Mas maganda lalo na yung pagka nakakakuha ka ng blocker para single block lang. Since dalawa lang spiker nyo.
Sige, tagaan natin. Tagaan lang natin. Ayaw muna natin sa receive, ha? Under the course.
Yun na yata yung pinakamalumanay na time.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say that as well. Very calm. Parang ano, no? It's not as if they're playing catch up.
Ganyan ako magsalita pag nasa loob ako ng library. Eh, si Coach Nino Jerus kasi, parang alam niya na eh.
Yes, I'm sure. You know, these are not, kumbaga parang not new to the game. And he also has the veterans inside. So I think it's really just trying to create a momentum for them. A good save from
Great
Savouge.
effort. That was tremendous effort. Kaso sinayang nila with that outside hit. Itatawid na lang dapat. But they got a little bit greedy. Wanted to score a point.
But that was good intention though, trying to bring it over sa end line. Kasi everybody in the Air Force side was, you know, towards the front half of the court.
Oh, no defense there. Attack was a little bit off as well coming from Pedrosa. That's back-to-back points for the Philippine Air Force.
Good work on the defense at the net. So this is what Air Force may need to capitalize on here in this game. Statistically, they are better at blocking compared to Savouge. And if they are having trouble or challenges with their first ball, then all the more that they have to work extra hard at the front line.
And now trying to build a more comfortable lead is Savouge. Salvador, again, when he gets a clean touch, he can deliver the points. 4 of their 6 points have been courtesy of his attacks.
That's right. And he has been targeting the right spots, open holes in the defense of Savouge. He's done the first 2 points down the line and he went cross-court. Good block as well from Salvador.
Marmeto picks it up though. Caritativo denied, sent back. Imperial will set it up. Back to Caritativo. This one is on the block and good.
But that was good effort on the net defense for Air Force, putting pressure on the attackers for Savouge. As soon as we've seen that so far, Savouge was able to implement more combination plays as compared to Air Force.
Decent first ball to work with as Salvador hits it a little too wide this time.
Attack went out. That's point for the Spin Doctors.
But at least they're getting a lot of offense coming from him.
Yes.
So you know that babantayan na siya nitong Spin Doctors.
That's true. So that means Villegas would need to activate the rest of his attackers.
They go back to Salvador. Almost scoring there. But he's picked up.
Good first ball.
Back to Salvador. Another good touch by Senyoron. Caritativo will send it across. Oh boy, he might have rolled his ankle on the jump.
Point for Savouge. And we're off to our
He'll be able to shake it off, but that's a point for the Savouge Spin Doctors. Second technical timeout of our first set. 16-10, a 6-point advantage for the Spin Doctors.
Kung para sa'yo, is para sa'yo. About sa volleyball is, kung para sa akin talaga ang paglalaro ng volleyball is, para sa akin talaga. Kumbaga kasi may times na nag-stop na ako sa paglalaro. Kumbaga, andun pa rin na ipursige ko yung sarili ko dahil andun talaga yung role ko in fashion.
Awesome. Live sports viewing is guaranteed with Signal yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Switch now and get up to 3 months with no cash out. Visit signal.tv/switch for more details. 17-10 now. Bigla na lang pong kumawala itong Savouge Spin Doctors, building a 7-point lead after a very tight opener dito sa ating first set. Salvador looks like he's okay as Caritativo is sent back. Imperial with a one-handed set. That was a decent attack coming from Savouge. This one will sail out though, as the Air Force will get a point back.
Point for Airmen.
Better sequence there for Air Force, but they really need to work on the first ball just to have more opportunities for them for the attack. So far, it has been only Salvador who has been the option for offense.
Good serve. Salvador will attack again.
5 points already for Salvador.
Good percentage as well. Pag siya yung umaatake, more often than not, it's a point for
That's right.
the Air Force.
If it's not a point, then there's a challenge with the first ball. So hindi nagiging perfect receive then para dito sa Savouge.
Caritativo wanted a big killer there, but that one sails out of bounds.
He only had one blocker in front of him.
Put a little too much angle on it. And this is a good run. 3 points in favor of the Philippine Air Force. Let's see if they can get more. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Service out.
Service goes out for Abdul.
Point for Savouge.
2 service errors already in the side of Air Force.
Now this is Jeremy Pedrosa serving for the Spin Doctors. Another bad first ball, and that results to a quick point. 19-13 now. Spin Doctors back up by 6.
19-13.
Much better first ball. This time, nabantayan na itong si Salvador. They will go right back to him. And he will score again. 6 points. How about that? Almost half of the points nitong Philippine Air Force have been courtesy of Salvador.
And he has been performing very well.
Double substitution coming up here for the Savouge Spin Doctors.
Number 9, Renzel Antonio in.
Antonio and the veteran setter Hernandez checking in.
Paul Salvador serving for Air Force.
Hernandez, his first look. Oh, that was a great connection there.
Renzel Antonio.
He found Antonio. Yung kasama niyang kakapasok lamang. Why not? Why not?
Siyempre, partner tayo eh.
Tapos biglang syempre si Coach Ambia Kailar. Oh, ganda ng substitution, di ba?
So 6-point advantage here for Savouge.
Sharp serve there. Caleco, the soft touch, defended by Hernandez. That one was a miss hit from Senyoron.
Too much.
Backing error there.
Point for the Air Force. 15-20.
But they need a string of points. Hindi pwedeng paisa-isa lang for the Philippine Air Force.
Herald Domingo serving for the Airmen.
They will have to get someone else other than Salvador to get going as well. Oh, that's a good low set from Hernandez.
JD Diwa with an off-balance shot.
And again, good combination play.
The difference is the middles really, diba?
Yes, that's right.
Activated for the Savouge Spin Doctors.
That really confused the middle blocker of Air Force.
Oh, good block there. Combination of Lumanlan and Caleco
For the Air Force.
as they pull one back. Not a lot of options there on the angle for Antonio.
Ronchet Villegas
As
serving.
Villegas, the setter, will serve again. Oh, that's a good angle. That touches the line as Magpayo connects one more.
Substitution for Savouge. Number 15 out. Number 8, Jeremy Pedrosa in.
Quick stint
Number 9
for those two.
Number 13,
As the starters are back into this matchup, Imperial will get to serve now. His team up 22-16. This is where you really have to show, a lot of grit, determination to be able to get back into this contest. If you're the Philippine Air Force, you cannot give up on this set. Even if you find yourself down by 6.
Well, that was a good execution from Air Force. Excellent play. If they're able to pull off plays like that, then they can actually narrow down the gap in the score. But again, it has to start with a good first ball because that has been the struggle of Air Force.
And that's just a hammer coming from Senyoron. Unstoppable with that attack.
Good sharp angle as well. Only one blocker challenging.
Great effort for Senyoron as they are 2 points away from scoring a 1-0 set advantage versus the Philippine Air Force. Senyoron serving. Back set. Ooh, that was wild. And that will lead to us being at set point in favor of the Spin Doctors.
Oh, these errors are not helping the cause of Air Force.
Timeout now for the Air Force. Let's listen in.
Iwas tayo error. Nag-aabol tayo, ha?
Huwag tayo manggigil.
Sige, pahinga muna kayo. Ay, bawiin natin sa second set. Bawiin natin sa second set.
Gamitin natin yung block. Huwag natin iwas ng iwas. Kakaiwas natin, outside yung pinapalo natin. Di ba? Kundi lang natin, kung tumama sa block ng outside, di good ball. Puntos tayo, di ba? Kaysa hawi tayo ng hawi, simpleng puntos ng kalaban. Ha? Let's go, let's go. Sabi muna yung palo nyo, ha? Let's go. Air Force 1, 2, 3. Air Force!
Villegas being a little bit more vocal in that timeout coming from the Philippine Air Force.
You can sense, the frustration that he has. And he has been struggling also trying to set up good attacks.
Serving for the set is Lawrence Senioron.
Senioron serving for the set here, up 24-17. Salvador with a soft touch, dug up. Oh, that is mighty. Coming from Manuel Sanama.
Off the block.
Kahit kakapasok lang ng mga players ng Savouge, they look like they've warmed up correctly because they've been aggressive with their first touches.
And that's actually the right attitude to have because you really want to get the win.
And as a result, they will pick up a 1-0 advantage here in the matchup. 25-17 is our score at the end of our first set.
Ano to? You took the midnight train going anywhere. Ano to? Alam ko na. Don't Stop Believing. Yes! Ay, ito. Of course, Chopay. All time to eh. Dadalhin kita sa aming bahay, di tayo mag-aaway, aalis tayo sa tunay na mundo.
Grabe naman yun, bowler na singer pa itong si Lawrence Senioron as he was the leading figure in that 25-17 first set in favor of his squad, the Savouge Spin Doctors. Check out the highlights of our opener. It started well for Salvador and the rest of the Philippine Air Force, pero nung nakapagtatag na ng konting lamang itong Savouge of the Philippine Air Force was not able to stay in pace as they fizzled out midway through that first set and absorbed that 25-17 defeat.
And Air Force was able to show, they've had their moments, they've had their good execution of attacks, but again, it has been the consistency that is the issue for Air Force. And Savouge, in the meantime, has been playing very aggressively. And why not? Because, first, both of these teams need to win. And the Spin Doctors, of course, would definitely want to make sure that they get ahead of Air Force.
First point of the second set will belong to the Philippine Air Force. So what are the points of improvement? Yes, we've been talking about the first ball. Outside of that, ano pa yung kailangan gawin ng Philippine Air Force?
Well, one thing, of course, is to avoid the errors, Kasi kailangan, they have to keep the momentum on their side. And I've mentioned this earlier also in set number 1. I think what Air Force would also, can also work on to help them is the defense at the net. Kasi yung, if they were able to, we've seen a sequence in the first set wherein they were able to deflect or at least deny yung atake ng Savouge. It actually worked to their advantage. So really, they have to put that pressure at the net.
Good dive there from the libero. Also, the other side for Savouge. Caritativo blocked, sent back. But this rally will stay alive, and that connects from Imperial. A rare point from the setter.
And you have to give credit to the coverage of Savouge. Well, the Spin Doctors really have been doing very well in trying to keep the ball alive on their side of the court.
Pero ito yung sinasabi mo kanina, Ivy, no? Na front-loaded yung depensa nitong Philippine Air Force. Sometimes they forget about that backline.
Yes, and Spin Doctors has been targeting that area. Pag bigla nila binabalik yung bola, laging long. So the linesman actually, called in a last touch from Air Force. So I think this is a challenge.
But I think the referee is saying that it cannot be challenged. That's the conversation right now between our official and the team captain of Savouge.
Okay, the second referee had a good view of what happened. So it happened right in front of him. So the call stands. So it is awarded to Air Force.
And the middle is trying to get activated once again for the Savouge Spin Doctors. Caritativo will set it up. That was slowed down by the block. Villegas with a pass to Salvador, and he hits it off the block. Yung sinasabi niya kanina, di ba? Hindi na iwasan yung mga blocks. Send it against the block and try to get points that way too.
Salvador now with 7 points for Air Force. Haleco is the second top scorer with 3.
But what a response though, coming from Pedrosa. As he will level the score at 3 apiece. Again, nakadalawang puntos lang po itong si Salvador in the entire game. The last time out ng Philippine Air Force against Maverick. Senyoron was able to get a touch on it pero hindi na nahabol pa ni Magpayo.
So again, this is a good start for Air Force. And the question would always be if how long they can sustain it. They usually start off good, but once the Spin Doctors have the momentum, they just continue on with that. And that's another example of a good execution of attack from the Spin Doctors. Let's take a look at that. You only have one blocker challenging you.
That is not going to be enough to slow down Caritativo. As we're tied again at 4.
Last touch is from the Spin Doctors.
Savouge asking for a violation. Referee's not agreeing, so it'll be a point for the Philippine Air Force. It was Salvador scoring again now with 8.
For the Airmen.
Oh, good decision from Imperial.
Imagine that, challenging a much taller blocker.
But the way that he contorted his body to go from a set to a defensive attack variety.
So that play transferred the momentum to him, actually. Oh, that was a very smart move from Salvador. Really, he has been doing a good job here in this game. Looks like he came in prepared and he really wants to win.
Might be our first player in double digits. Currently working with 9 now. The runner defended well by the Air Force. But this one will be a check ball.
That was outside. So we are tied 6-all. So again, Air Force would need to minimize those errors. These are what, those errors are hurting them. They managed to get a good run. They managed to score the points. Only, they cut the momentum with those kinds of errors.
Apologies, the line judge was overruled by our lead official. Good defense there from Pedrosa. Salvador with a dive. As they will keep it alive. Good defense for Savouge. Imperial set it up. Senyoron will somehow get it across. We continue with this rally. Off-speed hit picked up by Caritativo. Senyoron will finally end that long rally and give the lead back to the Spin Doctors.
Senyoron now with 5 points. The two top scorers for the Spin Doctors are Magpayo and Senyoron with 5 points.
Now it is Diwa serving. They squad up by 1. That's a service ace for Diwa. And that will push us to our first technical timeout of our second set. The slim 2-point lead for the Savouge Spin Doctors, 8-6 against the Philippine Air Force Airmen.
You're still watching the 2024 Spikers Surf Open Conference where power meets passion. In terms of preparation, Coach Sammy Akailar emphasized how big his and his team's respect is to teams such as the Airmen. To prepare the Savouge Spin Doctors had a tune-up game just this Friday against the UAAP team, the UE Red Warriors, and things went well. Ayaw niya nga raw maging complacent. Coach Sammy went back sa naging match ng Spin Doctors versus the PGJC Navy, and what they lacked, they want to apply here. Na sa una pa lang, taasan na agad ang moral and to make sure that each set kanila ang endgame. Back to the panel.
Thank you for that report, Ms. Denise. As we get back into live action, Senyoron with a second touch. Caritativo from the back row, defended by Salvador. Oh, another defensive attempt there for Caritativo, but the angle was a little bit sharp. So Air Force inching a little bit closer, still down by 2.
7-9.
So what were the adjustments that you've already seen from both camps here in the second set, Ivy?
Well, for the Spin Doctors, they really have been very consistent in terms of how they play. But what's good about the Spin Doctors really is how they work hard or work double time with their floor defense. We've seen a lot of execution of excellent coverage. And meanwhile, for Air Force, we're seeing more combinations now. We're seeing more variations, just like that last attack from the pipe. And again, it is Salvador doing damage for the Airmen. And we need to see more of that in the side of Air Force.
Pero yung variation nila ng offense, si Salvador pa rin yung featuring. 10 points for him now. As he is indeed our first player in double digits. That no-look hit connects for Magpayo.
Definitely on the side of Air Force, they really need to solidify the middle, especially on the defense. The middle blocking. A lot of tips or hard tips, power tips being given out by the Spin Doctors.
So again, the challenge for the Air Force would be to to pick players who would help out in the offense and support Salvador. This player could definitely try and do that as Haleco scores a point there. Oh, Magpayo has been on fire.
Well, the Air Force has not figured out the right timing for the quick attacks of the Spin Doctors. That's what what I mentioned earlier, the struggle that they have in defending the middle. And even the power tips of the setters, they're not able to keep that alive.
Nice
Good
dive.
save.
Oh, this one, though, they won't be able to keep alive as Salvador has now launched 11 points for the Air Force.
Well, what I like about what I'm seeing now with Salvador is that, he seems to be enjoying the game. There is pressure on the side of the Airmen, of course, to win this match, but he's playing like he's enjoying, and you don't really see so much of that pressure.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That attack was going nowhere already for Savouge. Unfortunately, it was a net touch against the Air Force.
It could have been a point for the Airmen already. So again, these are the things that they have to avoid. They are playing catch-up right now, down by 3 points. Oh, excellent execution for that play. The middle attacker was able to make Diwa commit. Only one blocker going up against Salvador.
Tapos yung setter pa, no? So that was not a very tall blocker in front of Salvador, who has been a wrecking ball on offense for the Air Force. They're within striking distance, only down by 2. Can they turn the tide, though? That will not help. A service error.
So they have to maximize on the rotation that Salvador is at the front line. But it all has to start, of course, with good first ball in the side of Air Force so that Villegas would have a lot of options, because it's important na mapakagat din ng middle attacker yung kanyang mga blockers to free up Salvador.
They will go right back to Salvador. Picked up by the libero. Imperial will set it up. Senyoron.
Oh, there was a touch.
Score off the block.
There was a touch, according to our first referee.
But there's a challenge on the ball by
But
the Air Force.
on the side of Air Force, they are saying that there was no touch.
So officially, our first challenge here in this matchup, it is in a crucial point because the Philippine Air Force would want to inch a little bit closer here. Ayaw nilang magpaiwan because they already saw what happened in the first set. When you allow Savouge to get going and build a 5-point lead, it's very difficult to catch up.
That's right. And again, the Spin Doctors are playing very consistently. They're playing very organized inside the court. And I really love, how they're able to save those difficult balls. And they just keep diving everywhere for it. So was there a touch? Let's take a look. There's no touch. It did look very close, though.
Yeah.
So
Air Force is successful.
So the challenge is successful. 14-11 is the count right now as we resume the action. Sorry, 14-12 now.
The score is 12-14.
there was no whistle yet from the referee. So everybody just inside the court is just laughing about it. Little humor injected into the game.
Gusto magsimula na agad. Dito si Salvador,
excited,
nagigigil. Ganda kasi ng laro niya eh. Senyoron quickly gets that point back.
8 points now for Senyoron.
Three-point lead once again for the Savouge Spin Doctors. Good serve coming from Diwa. Nice pick up there. Imperial will set it up to Senyoron against a triple block. Salvador takes care of it from behind, and that one is a miss hit An attacking error coming from Abdul. Second technical timeout of our second set. We'll see the Spin Doctors up 16-12 against the Airmen.
Nang may love ako sa'yo, kala ko'y pag-ibig mo ay tunay pero
Stupid love. Stupid love is an easy way. Naku, alam ko to pero di ko alam yung
End
title.
of the second technical timeout.
Imong
of
Adarna.
set number 2.
Oo nga pala. Narda.
Serving for Savouge is JD Diwa.
Matala, kahit sulyap ng narda.
Arena Plus, Aztecs of Sports. Welcome back to the second set of this matchup between the Savouge Spin Doctors and the Philippine Air Force Airmen. At ito na nga yung ayaw mangyari ng Philippine Air Force, no? Nagtatag na ng 5 puntos na abante itong Savouge.
And that would make it difficult for the Airmen to catch up. We've seen how this has happened in the first set. So the Air Force would really need to build up the points here and try to tie up the match. It's going to be very difficult once we reach the 20-point mark and they're still behind at least by 4 or 5 points.
Haleko looking like he will be the secondary option on offense outside Salvador here. The problem is yung balance nitong Savouge. They're getting points from multiple contributions, but that is a nice look. That's back-to-back for Haleko.
So first things first, of course, they have to put the service over. And they do.
Oh, almost a service ace.
Opportunity now for Air Force, and they do get the point. So Air Force can really put in the run, but it has to start with a good first ball.
Coach Samia Kailar will call a timeout here as their lead is down to just 2.
Kunin mo ha. Sa dalawang spiker lang naman, di ba? Apo. Okay, so banda-handa dito sa back row. Siguraduhin natin ang pasa kasi umahabol o dalawa kanina. Malayo na, didikitan pa tayo, okay? Yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, sigurista nga kayo. Kasi once na magkamali ang isa, sinusundan ng isa.
Kailangan natin itong game na itong...
Hey, one team!
So, bit of a testy time here for the Savouge Spin Doctors. They look comfortable, ahead by 5, and all of a sudden, it's down to a 2-point lead.
Good 3-point run here by Air Force. Another good serve.
Masyado ng malayo. They tried their very best to still keep that alive, but that hit was so strong that the first touch flew all the way to our first row.
But you would rather have a misreceive like that than have the ball killed or dead in your court.
Yeah,
Is there
for
still an
sure.
opportunity for that to be alive? So net violation error this time on the side of the Spin Doctors.
Savouge needing to reset and just shake it off right now as they are all of a sudden playing a bit tense. Perhaps sensing the challenge coming from the Air Force. Oh, that is costly. A service error from Villegas.
3 service errors on the side of Air Force here in this set.
19 serving 16.
Senyoron trying to rebuild the advantage.
Not the best of
Yep.
passes. So again, this is a struggle.
So this is a perfect opportunity to score. That combination play converted to a point by Caritativo.
So that is where the problem of Air Force starts. You know, if they're not able to give out a good first ball and they give out a free ball, they're giving the Spin Doctors enough opportunity to execute one of those combination plays. And we've seen how well the Spin Doctors are able to execute that.
But Jaleco coming alive here in the second set, keeping the Air Force in the match.
Jaleco now with 9 points, and Salvador and Jaleco has been really working very hard for Air Force. Salvador has 12 points already. But again, you know, they need more than, apart from those two, the others would really have to help and step in.
Somehow the Philippine Air Force got a point from that. Somehow, some way.
And good resilience in defending the net. And this is what I'm talking about. If they can consistently put that pressure at the net, then it would be more difficult for the Spin Doctors to have a successful attack. You know, the key really is not really to have just a block kill, but at least to deflect the ball, slow down the ball, limit the options of the Spin Doctors.
Oh, great defensive effort there. Caritativo will send it across. One more chance to score, and that is killed by Salvador.
And I think it's safe to say that in that sequence, Air Force was owning it. Good first ball, good setup by Villegas. And Salvador just knew where to bring the ball.
Jaleco serving. Oh, they will go to Pedrosa, and he has been very efficient with his scoring.
4 points for Pedrosa.
21 serving 19.
Magpayo will serve now for the Spin Doctors. Up by 2. Abdul. That block goes out. Looks like there will be a challenge. Bit of a discussion on what the call actually is.
Yeah, because they have to make sure what the call is if they wanted to call a challenge.
It's ball in, ball out.
So initially the point was scored for
The Spin
Savouge.
Doctors, yes.
Okay.
So the challenge now for Air Force is ball in, ball out. And I also like how Labrador is like acting as a coach right now.
Masyado daw tahimik si Coach Nino Hedges.
Masyado siya relax eh. Kailangan may isa sa atin
Kailangan
dito
may
na
isa,
may
oo.
intensity eh.
Dapat may bad cup, may good cup, di ba? Pinagtutulungan nilang dalawa. But, you know what? That worked. I mean, the first set was a loss, but here in the second set, they're performing a lot better.
I agree. And you know, there's more intensity, there's more aggressiveness on the side of Air Force, and they're able to convert most of their attacks into points. So we see the replay here. The call is ball out, definitely way out. So the point goes to Air Force.
So reset, 21-20 is the
yes.
score right now in favor of the Savouge Spin Doctors. That is called out. Another service error. And especially when the score is at the 20s, those service errors are doubly painful, Ivy. Still cool, calm, and collected. standing in as a head coach, Nino Jerus of the Philippine Air Force, as we see
Substitution for Savouge.
a couple of vets.
Number 15, John Hernandez in.
Hernandez and Taneo are both setters, right?
Taneo in.
Very interesting. Taneo will be seeing his first action of the match.
Well, this is probably not very conventional, you know, but this, I think old school volleyball would have this, the 4-2.
The problem with that is you have a smaller blocker out front in Taneo, and that was abused by the high-scoring Salvador, who has, I believe, 14 points in this match.
That's right, 14 points for Salvador. Oh, good block, and that is what the Air Force needs right now, solid net defense.
That experiment did not last too long for Coach Shamia Kailar, as Pedrosa and Imperial check back in with a score tied now at 22 apiece.
Important service here for Air Force.
Pedrosa sent back, and would you look at this, Philippine Air Force now up by 1.
For Air Force. Timeout Savouge Spin Doctors.
They stuck to it. They stayed stubborn, they stayed competitive, and as a result, they now taste the lead. We have a timeout for Savouge.
Mag-service, di ba? So sila mag-service, tayo ang re-receive at tigayin natin para mag-all, okay? Pero bago nyo pumapalo sa atin, dapat lagi may coverage. Huwag nyo kalimutan yan. So kalma lang ha, kalma lang ha.
Pasa mo na. Hey, one team. Ay, kapitan natin.
Baby kalma, sabi ni Coach Shamia Kailar, as they are currently a little bit tense. Nawala yung lamang. Let's see how they respond.
And again, this is a good time for Air Force to lead the set towards the last stretch, but this is going to be a test now of character for Air Force. You know, this is a very crucial part of the set. If they want to close this out, then that means no room for errors on the side of the Spin Doctors. I am sure that they would want to score a sequence of points.
Boy, 2 kill blocks back-to-back for the Philippine Air Force, and we are at set point.
Excellent kill block. And this is what I've mentioned earlier. One of the things that the Air Force would need to build on, and this is a good time for that to work.
Referee.
So the ball was
Yep,
inside, but there was a net touch. So now the question is, which one was first? That's right.
The chicken or the egg? Patay na ba yung bola? Oo, patay na, sabi ng ating referees.
Gets the point.
So they will challenge.
The call by Air Force. The challenge is no touch.
They will challenge still. And this is the discussion. A challenge coming from the Philippine Air Force. We'll see that there was a net touch.
There is,
right?
but the question would be is if that net touch happened after, the ball has already hit the floor.
So that cannot be challenged anymore.
That's right.
So they get one back.
But this is a set point for Air Force, so they just need one kill to steal the second set. And of course, they go to Salvador.
Not a lot of power behind it. They will go to Senyoron. Picked up by the libero. Villegas chases. Oh, that's a good block. And we're tied at 24. Kita mo yung collective Savouge after they scored that.
Everybody was holding their breath and was able to breathe after that. So we are tied 24 apiece. Extended second set.
That was a 5-0 run coming from the Philippine Air Force, and they're back to set point after another kill. Point number 15 for Salvador.
Set point for the Airmen.
Huhugot si Coach Shamia Sanama, who scored The winner in the first set, checking back in.
Number 10, Norway Sanama in.
It's also important to note, though, that Air Force really has not shuffled much, their players. We haven't seen much. I think we haven't seen a change, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, really, the fatigue factor would definitely be something to consider here as we progress towards the match.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Service error. And we're tied at 25.
5 service faults for the Airmen here in the second set. And that would definitely be a costly error that they would be dreaming about this tonight, I am sure. Good pass.
Villegas with the second touch. Oh, that will score somehow. There was a giant-sized defense in the middle of the floor for Savouge.
But that was a good decision for an off-speed hit. All of the defenders of the Spin Doctors are waiting for a strong hit.
Fourth opportunity to win the set.
Good pass.
And they finally get their middles activated once again, with Charlie Magbayo converting on that runner. Parang nakalimutan din ng Savouge, no? Yung middles nila here in the second set. Not a lot of touches.
Oh, not the best of passes.
And Sanama, the player who just checked in, delivering a crucial point. And this will be their first opportunity to win the second set. Timeout for the Philippine Air Force.
Isang receive lang patayin natin para mag-tie 27 tayo.
Sige, tiwala tayo kay Brian. Okay, okay. Sige, pero kung kaya mo
Ulit, pasa muna tayo, atake, tapos block ulit. Block, ha? Block.
Pasok ka?
Kailangan natin
Pasok
block, ha?
Isang receive lang.
Pasa maganda, pasa maganda.
Sige, akin na.
Pasa 3, 1, 2, 3.
Well, now they will have to show even more grit. Talking about the Philippine Air Force, as after 4 opportunities to win the second set, it is now the opposing side. It's now the Spin Doctors with their own chance, their first to build a 2-set to none advantage. Good defense there. Imperial sets it up. Pedrosa will score. Savouge recovers and wins the second set.
Good fight by both of these teams. And I mentioned this earlier, really, that this would be a test of character as we entered into the extended set. And the Spin Doctors really just keeping it together up until the end.
That was an extended second set, but it would still be the Spin Doctors winning it 28-26. Third set coming up.
Siguro yung sinabi sa akin ni Coach Kid Santos, na Coach Kid dati sa FPU, na sa susunod ikaw na nandyan, ikaw na yung papanoorin. So yun, the next season yun nga, na line up na ako. Tapos yung mga sinasabi rin yung mga senior na tiyagain mo lang,
Kasi dadating yung panahon, kayo na yung mga nakasalang dyan. So yun nga, naranasan ko naman lahat. Totoo yung mga sinasabi nila na talagang pag tinaga mo, talagang may magiging bunga.
25-17, 28-26, both in favor of the Savouge Spin Doctors in our first and second sets. We check out some of the highlights in that second. It looked like Savouge was going to do exactly what they did in the first set. When they built that 5-point lead, it felt like they will march towards another comfortable win, but the Philippine Air Force fought back, even led, even had opportunities, multiple chances to win the set, but Savouge just standing strong and making sure that they will recover in time to still win the second.
It was a heart-stopping second set, and again, you know, for both of these teams, we know that something big is at stake here right now. So it's a must-win for both of these teams. As we take a look at the numbers, so not much disparity when it comes to the success rate of their attacks. It has been the Air Force who dominated the defense at the net with 5 block kills, but what hurt Air Force really was the errors. And I've mentioned this earlier, that's one of the things that they really need to minimize, if not eliminate altogether, because, you know, in most parts of the game, they have been playing catch-up when he had a taste of the lead. Then, of course, these errors will just hurt them, you know, if being committed. The first ball has improved in the second set, but still not consistent enough for them to be able to execute a lot of those options in their attacks.
And Ivy, it was the errors and it was the timing of some of those errors.
I agree, yes, that's correct. So parang especially in the latter part, the service errors committed by Air Force, that definitely cost them the second set.
Imagine 5 service errors. You put 2 of those balls in, then you have a winner.
Exactly,
right?
That's right. So leading scorers that we have after 2 sets, it's Magpayo for the Spin Doctors, Senyoron and Diwa with both with 6. And on the side of the Air Force, Salvador leads the pack with 17 points and Haleco with 10.
At least they now have a second option, a clear second option in Haleco. But the problem is they still can't find the antidote to the middle attackers of the Savouge Spin Doctors, specifically Charlie Magpayo.
Magpayo has been very consistent here in this game. And we've seen how the Air Force can actually deny or can, you know, give the Spin Doctors a challenge when it comes to the attack if their blocking works well. So we need to see that as well here in the third.
That is a miss hit.
The ball went out.
Coming from Sherwin Caritativo. So usually the first part of our sets will always look like this, right? It's
an exchange of
yep,
points,
an exchange of points, multiple deadlocks. Again, Magpayo delivering 2 of their first 3 points here.
So they're not able to read the attacks of Magpayo. Then, you know, his approach really is also very fast and too quick for the blockers of the Air Force.
It is Senyoron who sets it up. The defense for Imperial. There's a joust at the net. It's kept alive. Magpayo will send it across. Salvador dug up by Magpayo. That push yanked up.
That drop was too high.
Oh, that hit the head of Diwa. This will have to cross. Imperial does exactly that. Oh, finally, an end to that rally.
But, you know, I really have to commend the Spin Doctors in their coverage. They've been doing an excellent job in trying to keep that ball alive in their side. You know, those sequences that you thought that it would have already been a kill for Air Force, but still they managed to keep that ball up.
Good angle there on the attack from Pedrosa. One of the most efficient attackers for the Spin Doctors.
Pedrosa now with 7 points. That 7 points is basically he has a very high success rate, you know, in all of the sets that he has been given. He was able to convert that, most of that into points.
That one straight to the net. A rare attack for Imperial. As we're back to a deadlock at 4. And normally, ganito po talaga mag-uumpisa yung aming mga set. Tapos biglang lalamang ng dalawa. Yung Savouge heading into the first technical timeout. That has been the story. Let's see if it'll change here in the third. That one sails long for Jaleco.
Point for the Spin Doctors.
Caritativo, 6 points. From dropping 20 in their last game. Good attack for Jaleco.
That was a good setup for Air Force.
Hindi ko inabot na rin ng pagod kahit paano si Salvador. So they'll need to go to someone else this time.
That's right.
Gerald Domingo serving for Philippine Air Force.
Oh, solid block. So that is what Air Force needs to activate right now. Again, it is the net defense. That's one of the reasons why, you know, they were able to extend the second set.
Oh, that one was slowed down by the net coming from Pedrosa. Caritativo picks it up. Back to Pedrosa. Again, delayed by the tape.
But this is going to be a free ball. Oh, lucky break.
Senyoron.
Well, that was
is
outside.
Out. But there's the
there
check.
was a touch.
Finds the open hole.
6-6. Tied again.
So Air Force would need to keep this kind of pace and not allow the Spin Doctors to lead at least by 2. Because it's difficult for Air Force. That's what we've seen. No? It's difficult for them when they're playing catch-up. So a 1-point advantage on the Spin Doctors is okay. But like when they already have a 2-point advantage, that becomes difficult.
Gorgeous touch there for Villegas as he'll push the Air Force ahead by 1. They have not tasted the lead heading into a technical timeout. This could be their chance. Senyoron blocked. Villegas to Jaleco. That block goes out, and that will lead us to our first technical timeout of the third set. Philippine Air Force trying to use that momentum from the third to give them, from the second rather, to give them a better performance here in the third.
You're still with us. This is the 2024 Spikers Turf Open Conference where power meets passion. Earlier, I got to talk to Spin Doctors team captain Lawrence Senyoron. And Lawrence here, kanina he got quite emotional when he went back to his days as a Tiger sa UAAP. Pagkatapos nga raw ng stint niya na ito, he didn't expect an invitation to try out for Savouge and more so his position now as a captain. Now with this new role, nakita niya naman daw na nagjalagad ang Spin Doctors kahit na ilang weeks pa lang sila, and what he wishes as a team captain is for the team to still enjoy, stay calm, lalo na pag may times na nararattle sila, and a better presence of mind back to set 3.
Thank you for that report. And as you said his name, Senyoron, scoring to enter back for the Spin Doctors. He will need to step up and take a bigger responsibility here in the third set, as you know, Philippine Air Force looks like they're eager to extend this matchup a little bit further.
Well, definitely for the Air Force, the third set is a must-win. Again, if they lose this match against the Spin Doctors, then they also lose the opportunity to even have a chance to move into the or to qualify as part of the top 4. So it's actually a big assignment already for both of these teams, because that would mean they have to win all the remaining matches. But a loss today for Air Force again would definitely take them out of contention already.
It will be already mathematically impossible for them, and that's the hope that Savouge will try to build on, get a win here, and then at least get a couple more to get back into it. That will be out. Good idea from Lumanlan, just could not execute it properly.
For the Spin Doctors. We're now tied at 9.
But we're seeing good adjustments from the side of the Philippine Air Force. It has looked better. Definitely an improvement from the first set.
It was a scrappy first set for Air Force. Well, better execution there, but still not a point for them. But
oh, that one scoring off the block for Caritativo. So after tasting a 2-point lead, Philippine Air Force now find themselves down by 1, 10-9 against the Spin Doctors. Salvador trying to get going once again.
So they would need to take advantage again of the rotation that Salvador is at the front line.
Oh, that is another service error. That one had no chance whatsoever. And we thank you for joining us here on Pilipinas Live and One Sports Plus. This is the first game of what should be an eventful day for your 2024 Spikers Turf Open Conference. We have VNS Nasty Griffins going up against the PGJC Navy Sea Lions after this match, and then a big one, Crisscross King Crunchers versus Signal HD Spikers at 6 p.m. And all eyes will be on that matchup to determine who will be our number one team so far.
That's right. So could be a possible preview of the finals. Could be.
I'm sure the other teams would beg to disagree. And they will have their opportunity to show that.
Actually, right now, you know what? When you review or look back at the standings at top 4, it can't be anybody's game.
Sure.
You know?
The Navigators playing well, PGJC also playing well. But both Savouge and Philippine Air Force still want to sneak in to our semifinals. Yeah, could still happen, but they'll have to win now. No, from the back row, that is a
big attack.
Powerful hit. Had a long runway to be able to get there. That runner is money still for Diwa. And these are attacks. These are the attacks na hindi pa rin talaga mabantayan nitong Philippine Air Force. In the handful of moments that the Philippine Air Force saw that, usually it led to a point for Savouge. Meanwhile, Haleco answering back. They're still in this, only down by 1 now.
So the Air Force should put in a string of points here. They have to be able to get the lead again. If the Spin Doctors lead to the 20-point mark, then that can prove to be difficult for the Airmen.
You can see the Spin Doctors trying to extricate themselves, trying to build a nice, comfortable advantage. Now it's not yet there. Only up by 2. Good defense from the back. Oh, that drop almost scoring. Philippine Air Force scrambling for it, and that connects. What a look from Villegas.
Smart play from Villegas, very smart. You can see he glanced at the other side of the court just before he threw that over.
Earlier, it was Imperial who scored in the exact same method.
He's saying that I can do that too. Joust at the net.
Imperial with the set. Senyoron wanted to go cross court.
I think that would have gone outside, but either way, Air Force able to return the ball. Senyoron once again. Better pick up. Villegas all the way from the other end.
Oh, that is frustrating because of the effort that Villegas put in to keep that ball alive and keep it in play. As the Savouge Spin Doctors will lead by 2, 16-14. This is the second technical timeout of our third set. Is almost here. Watch the 2024 NBA playoffs starting on April 20th on NBA TV Philippines, One Sports, and Pilipinas Live. You can use the hashtag Everyone's Game and NBA on Signal. One more day in our regular season tomorrow in the NBA before we start with the play-in and then the playoffs on April 20th. Should be a fun competition to see who the final 2 seeds will be. East and West, we have a good block coming from Charlie Magpayo. He has been reliable on offense, now showing us a bit of defense.
11 points for Charlie Magpayo.
Good combination.
Excellent combination play.
And I like how he went straight back to Haleko, saying, no, okay na, kalimutan na natin yung nangyari kanina.
Giving him back the confidence para makabawi naman siya. And he did not waste that opportunity. Good serve as well. Of course, another combination play. Air Force was able to keep that alive.
Salvador against the triple block. Oh, that's out!
The frustration on the side of Air Force.
Again, sometimes it comes with youth, right? With inexperience. Yung lalaki yung mata mo, manggigigil ka because it's a perfect opportunity to score. And then it just doesn't work out your way.
There's a 3-point advantage now for the Spin Doctors, but still, Air Force is still in the contention. They were able to narrow down a much larger gap previously.
Correct.
So what they just need to do now is, of course, first avoid the errors they've been receiving better now. Redemption. And that is, at least give it to Villegas as well, you know. He's really giving the confidence to his attackers. So Domingo is now at the front line.
Oh, that was Lumanlan.
Lumanlan, yes, at the service line right now.
That would be a service error for Lumanlan. He will be replaced by the libero in Ancheta for the time being. 19-16, a 3-point lead for the Spin Doctors.
Pass is better.
Oh, good block.
So this is where they were able to narrowed down the gap in the second set. This is where they actually led. You know, when the block worked in the second set, that's how they managed to get the lead. So what they need to do, of course, is to maintain that, sustain that here. This is the last opportunity for Air Force.
Good effort by the blockers. Salvador, his push is sent back. Villegas wanted to score another one. Oh, that's a quick hitter from Diwa.
What the Spin Doctors are doing here really is putting out a lot of fast plays, making it difficult for the airmen to get back into positions. Kung makita mo lahat, talagang dinadaan nila sa bilis.
Second chance play for Taneo. Had an uneventful stint in the second set. Did not work out well for Coach Samia Kailar. Let's see if the veteran can deliver the goods here. Back row attack, that's too strong.
I think the set was a bit too low.
Point for Savouge.
4-point advantage for the Savouge Spin Doctors, 21-17. Timeout requested by the Philippine Air Force. Let's listen in.
Ha? Oy, good execution naman tayo, ha?
May receive, may set. Talaga ngayon di mapatay. Tapos iwas service.
May block, ganun yung target. Yung ganun yung palo. Pero pag wala, sige, block mo.
Tapos yung nakakapasok tayo.
O, enjoy mo tayo. Go, wala po yun. Go!
Well, this has to be the last stand for the Philippine Air Force. They were able to get a 5-0 run in the second set to get back into it. They'll need that again to stay alive in the match.
Well, they've shown that they can do it. So again, it's just how, matter of consistency now here for Air Force. Not just physical game for Air Force, but also mental game for them. Salvador tries again. Oh, good pickup from Ancheta.
Yep. Salvador will launch one more attack. Defense ready for him. Caritativo sent back. Senyoron with a save. Oh, that was a miscue between Enon and Diwa. Donating the point to the Airmen. Enon had it, but he was a little bit bothered by the presence of Diwa.
Substitution for Air Force, number 5 out. Number 3, Wesley Cajolo in.
Cajolo checks in as it looks like Salvador was limping a bit. He actually tried to wave off the substitution.
So hopefully it's just something like cramps, no?
Remember, he also rolled his ankle a little bit earlier in the first set. That's unstoppable. As Antonio has, scored points in the very few opportunities that he's seen action.
And he's really making the most out of the opportunity given to him, which is good.
Over received, Senyoron will score.
Senyoron won the battle.
The Spin Doctors just 2 points away from getting a win.
Now a timeout, another one for the Philippine Air Force.
I-abdul ko sa gitna ko para makapalo rin sila.
Pag ikaw, hindi mo kaya, itaas mo yung trajectory para makapalo ka.
Okay, pasa mo na. Huwag niyo pasok. Huwag niyo pasok.
Sa akin yung talk, sa akin yun, sa akin yun. Isa.
Airport, dahan-dahan lang.
It was a pretty calm timeout for the Air Force, considering that they're down 2 sets. Spin Doctors just needs two points to close the match.
And it will be Caritativo, their leading scorer in the last match, serving now. Aleco off speed.
Oh, but that works.
So that's one back. They need a lot more They need that 5-0 run once again, taking it one at a time here.
And again, one of the things that needs to work for the Air Force right now is the blocking.
Miscue there on offense. Another chance, Senyoron. That was a check ball scoring.
Senyoron gets the point of a ball touch.
It's now match point for the Spin Doctors.
And match point.
You have 5 of those, with JD Diwa serving for the match. Haleko cross court. Another point converted. But they're still down by 4 though. Philippine Air Force fighting back as Coach Shamia Kailar wants a timeout to talk things over. They just need one more point and he'll try to drop a play that will get them the win.
Ikaw yung ganito. Dos lang, Ray. Ikaw dito yung porsyento, ha? Kaya may back row dito. Pasahan natin yung maganda. Tapos ikaw naman, kunin mo talaga yung gitna na susunod sa'yo para pag mabigay sa kanya, walang blocker. Isang maliit lang. Ha?
One good pass, one good pass.
Ikaw, one good pass.
That's all they need. One good pass. And they feel that they have the attackers, they have the weapons to win this game here and now. 24-20. Savouge Spin Doctors trying to end their 3-game losing slide. Villegas serving. Pass was not on point.
Good block from Air Force. So again, this would be key for the Airmen, the net defense. And they really have to keep watch of the middle blockers from the Spin Doctors.
Another good serve for Villegas. Taneo sets it up. Another block from Lumanlan this time.
Again, blocking would be key.
Number 23 out, number 8, Jenny Pedrosa in.
So Imperial and Pedrosa back in this matchup. They lost their first 3 opportunities to win this match. Have 2 more. Much better first ball. Pedrosa dug up. Haleko slowed down by the block. Imperial will set it up. Senyoron.
Oh, but there was a touch
of the check ball.
And that concludes our third set.
And that will complete the 3-set sweep in favor of the Savouge Spin Doctors. They were tested in the second set, but the first and the third felt a little bit similar for the Spin Doctors.
That's right, but good performance as well here for the Air Force. They tried to keep, keep themselves into contention up until the last set.
25-17, 28-26, 25-22. A 3-set sweep for the Savouge Spin Doctors, keeping their semifinal hopes alive.
Volleyball fans, that's it for our first match for today in our Sunday triple header here in the Spiker Surf Open Conference 2024. We still have 2 matches remaining. And up next is between VNS Griffins going up against PJJC Navy.
You're still watching. This is a 2024 Spikers Turf Open Conference live here sa Pasig. And right now, I am with our player of the game from the Savouge Spin Doctors 10 attacks. We have Charlie Magpayo. Charlie, congratulations. Unang tanong ko, Charlie, na you were able to bounce back today coming from a loss against the PGJC Navy. And right now, kanina, you have a tight second set against the Philippine Air Force. Ano yung naging adjustments ng team for the Airmen to have an upset, no?
Unang-una yung ginawa namin adjustment is yung mental toughness namin kasi natalo kami sa Navy nung nakaraan kasi mas bata kami sa kanila. So, ayun yung ginawa namin adjustment and then binild pa namin yung connection namin sa isa't isa.
And speaking of connection, Charlie, the team is fairly a new team, no? So far, how's the experience of being a spin doctor?
Sobrang saya kasi mga kabatch ko lang din yung mga teammates ko. Same age, ganon. And then, ayun, sobrang saya nila kasama. Binabati ko yung girlfriend ko kay Iman and then sa papa ko, kay Papa Oyet, kay Mami Tek, and then Magpayo family.
Congratulations and to the rest of the team. This is our player of the game, Charlie Magpayo from the Savouge Spin Doctors, and we will get right back to you guys.
Set 3 highlights of this sweep coming from the Savouge Spin Doctors. It was tight at the start as usual, and it was actually the Philippine Air Force Airmen who got the lead heading into our first technical timeout.
That's right, but the Spin Doctors, of course, would not want to give the Airmen any more opportunity to gain momentum because they've seen what can happen in the second set.
Yep.
So that can be very crucial for them. And as we mentioned earlier, the win for today is very important for both of these teams. So with the win of the Spin Doctors, and that means the Airmen do not have any more opportunity to move on to the semifinals or to qualify for the top 4. But let's take a look at the numbers for set number 3. Equal opportunities or equal attacking points that we've seen here for both of the squads. And again, it has been the blocking of the Air Force. If that works, it makes it difficult for the Spin Doctors, but just not enough effort. And again, the reason for that is the errors. You know, a lot of these errors really is what has cost Air Force the match.
All right, first game down in our triple header. We have 2 more coming up. Up next, we have the VNS Nasty Griffins going up against the PGJC Navy Sea Lions, followed by the Crisscross King Crunchers facing off against the Signal HD Spikers. Still a lot of time to join us here at the Phil Sports Arena for your 2024 Spikers Turf Open Conference Elimination Round. For Miss Ivy Rembulia, I'm Carlo Pamento, and check back with us in just a little bit. Our second game is coming up next.